Welcome, everyone. My name is Keith Whaley. I'm the Senior Vice President of Retail Solutions at Brandivio, and I'm excited to introduce to you our cutting-edge retail allocation software. Today, we're going to explore how our platform helps retailers optimize inventory, improve sales and profits, and streamline operations. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm just going to give you a little information about our company background and who we are to start. Our company, Brandivio, we've been offering cutting-edge retail technology now for over half a decade, and we have a deep understanding of the challenges that are faced by retailers. We've developed a robust allocations tool that caters to specialty, apparel, and footwear retailers. Our team of experts combines over 160 years of experience in retail planning, data analytics, and inventory management. The allocation platform that you're going to see today analyzes hundreds of millions of SKU location records daily. And combined with our retail analytics, the Brandivio solution brings together cross-functional retail teams across the business, enabling millions of winning inventory decisions. So the first thing I want to start off with is talking a little bit about where the market has gone in terms of allocation systems. And in this slide, we want to look at the traditional allocation systems that we consider to most likely be overweight in their approach to inventory management. Traditional allocation systems are often very complex and resource intensive, requiring extensive upstream and downstream processes. They rely on a comprehensive end-to-end planning system to manage inventory allocations through the supply chain. Oftentimes, each module that supports a component of the end-to-end process is not even integrated upstream or downstream. Additionally, traditional systems often need an extended headcount and Excel workarounds to support all the required inputs and keying, including store planning, item planning, and assortment planning teams, not to mention IT support and infrastructure. This potentially results in lengthy implementations requiring large teams to be built around these traditional projects. So if we take a look at what we mean by traditional in terms of the allocation systems in the market, we're really talking about that linear approach. And what that linear approach is, it's divided into two main sections. We look at building the allocation strategies and executing the allocation strategies as orders deliver into the DCs. This process is typically carried out over a lengthy timeline, often spanning several weeks or even months. And looking at the traditional approach to building allocation strategies, we think about the process and the impact this process has on executing moving inventory through the supply chain. So if you look at the build part of this slide, we're really talking about the location planning, the assortment ranging that's occurring well before we get to the actual season that we want, or floor set or trading period that we want to execute on. So that could be potentially 9 to 12 months out. And then as we move through time, we start to consider demand planning. We go down to the store size level. We think about building store stocking strategies, and that could occur 6 to 9 months out. So what you end up with is very stagnant data in a time-consuming process. Now, as the inventory begins to deliver into our DCs, we think about our item plans and the space that we have to merchandise the inventory that we're bringing in for a new season or trading period. And we allocate those orders. And oftentimes we allocate those orders in traditional systems off of some stock requirement, meaning these stores get 12, these stores get 6, these stores get 3, so on and so forth. And we get the inventory out into the stores, and we think about reading, selling, reacting to the business, looking at how we're going to replenish goods that are maybe core ongoing or season-long items. And then we begin to think about how we have to manage these items in inventory and hindsight how things are doing. So as the business begins to monitor sales and make adjustments in real time, heavy lifting may be required to just make simple adjustments based on current trade patterns. This phase requires continuous monitoring and quick decision making. in responding to changing demand. Now, these delays in reacting to sales trends can result in missed opportunities and suboptimal inventory levels in performance stores. So as we begin to replenish existing products, it's very important that we ensure our popular products are always in stock. And this can be cumbersome in traditional solutions and may not account for sudden spikes in demand. So what you end up with potentially is stockouts of popular items that can lead to lost sales and dissatisfied customers. So as we begin to manage that inventory and those items in season, we're keeping track of inventory levels, we're managing DC stock, and this requires accurate and timely data to ensure optimal inventory management. So the danger becomes that we have inaccurate inventory data that leads to overstocking or stockouts, affecting overall performance. Even from a hindsight perspective, you're analyzing past performance to improve future strategies. So this step's going to involve requiring historical data and reviewing that historical data and making adjustments based on insights gained. So essentially, what you do in a hindsight process may not account for future market dynamics and customer preferences. So essentially, at the end of the day, you have heavy inputs and tuning required to just manage what's going on in season. Traditional systems often struggle with this and executing allocating inventory with outdated information and stagnant preseason planning processes and tools. This approach can be resource intensive, requiring extensive upstream systems and processes, leading to inefficiencies and lost opportunities. So let's take a look at Brandivio's approach and how we consider our solution to be a very intelligent allocation and replenishment tool. We simplify what I just outlined for you by providing a streamlined and user-friendly platform. Our system reduces the complexity and resource intensity of traditional allocation systems, including Excel, which allows you guys to focus on what matters most, optimizing your inventory and driving the business. So with Brandivio, you can achieve inventory excellence with less effort and fewer resources. We take an approach that focuses on intelligent allocations. Our system automates traditional location and assortment planning inputs needed to drive allocation strategies, which significantly reduces the manual effort required. The solution is driven by style, color, size, and store level demand signals using advanced retail and data science. This allows us to generate the ideal allocation for every SKU in the business every day based on current and future trade patterns. So with our platform, inventory planners and allocators get to manage by exception, centralizing their best practices across the teams. Our system is highly configurable to meet the unique allocation strategy requirements of each business. Whether you're looking to optimize inventory levels, reduce your out of stocks, or improve your sales performance, we provide the intuitive workflow, exceptions, and insights that an allocator or inventory analyst needs to be successful. In this slide, I want to emphasize for everyone listening today the deep understanding of the complexities in the retail industry that Brandivio has. So traditional systems, obviously, I've pointed out, can be cumbersome and resource intensive, often failing to adapt to the dynamic nature of retail. And we all know it's very dynamic and ever changing. But our approach is different. Our platform has been designed to respond to current trade using science and machine learning algorithms and artificial intelligence. We dynamically calculate ideal store optimums based on real-time data, ensuring that inventory levels are always aligned with demand. So it's a demand-driven solution. This reduced the risks of both overstock and stockouts. We also generate ideal size curves at the lowest level, going down to the style, subclass, and location level, ensuring that the right sizes are available where they're needed the most. Additionally, our system automatically ranges locations to optimize the allocations for the greatest sales velocity. Once again, demand-driven. Brandivio's demand signals account for factors such as lost sales, overstocks, and markdown events. We incorporate elements like seasonality, weather, and cannibalization into the algorithms. Our platform provides a comprehensive solution to inventory management, allowing you guys to make informed decisions and stay ahead of the competition. So in our approach, it's more of a vertical approach than the traditional approach. And we feel this is far superior to the traditional methods, and I'll tell you why. Our system offers significant advantages over that linear approach by taking care of the science for you. So we're handling the inputs and building the allocation strategy. So once again, if you think back to that previous slide, which was very linear, all of these things are still very important in the process of coming up with good strategies and executing against them, but we're going to do that for you. So whether it's the location planning, the assortment ranging, and understanding where products should go, taking care of seasonality, calculating optimal demand, which includes your store inventory strategies, all of that is done behind the scenes so the allocators in their day of the life can just focus on what's important. So at the end of the day, we end up reducing all of that manual effort so that when it comes time to allocate orders and execute against that allocation strategy, we understand what the demand patterns are expected to be, what they are currently, how our seasonality impacts those, what insights we can glean through our dashboarding that presents to the users important things they need to consider as they're discussing the business with their team, their cross-functional team members. And then from a workflow perspective, and this is where it really gets good, it's very simple and easy to use. And we present to the allocators or the inventory analysts only what's important. At the end of the day, our hindsight's based on performance analytics. And once again, our allocation solution can be supported by a robust analytics tool. So let's take a look at the solution and let's dive in and get into this. So I want to highlight 5 very important things here as I take you through the solution today and show you what Brandivio's allocation system is all about. So first, you'll notice when I come into the solution, I'm in my workbench. This workbench is very simple, simply designed, and easy to navigate. And so up in the upper left-hand corner, what I'm showing you is our alert section. And that alert section is very simple workflow. It's visibly showing the allocators what they have to focus on. So if you think about the day in the life of an allocator, they deal with new item allocations, they're replenishing seasonal items with second, third, fourth allocations. They have their core business that they're worried about, those everyday ongoing items that they have to manage and allocate inventory out to stores. And then in addition to that, we also offer the most important things from an inventory perspective, where demand is greater than stock on hand. So the system can look at, analyze, and know where we potentially have such great demand patterns in our trading that we're going to run out of stock on hand. We show you where those items are and what those items look like and the performance of those items. Or conversely, where our stock thresholds are being exceeded. So in defining stock thresholds and what we may consider or deem to be potentially over inventorying stores with items that don't have the sales velocity that we intended, we highlight to the users what those items are, what their positions are from a stock perspective, how they're selling, and ultimately a revised demand plan, given the fact that once we allocate new items in this solution, so if I click on my new items and I go into that, what it's going to show me are all of the new items that I have to allocate for. And when the new item screen pops up, it's displaying to me at a style color level or even a style level the inventory that has to go out for items that haven't sold yet. So what's happening here in the background with our engines is that we're calculating what the optimal demand is. We're taking into account what the stocking strategies are. And then we're displaying to the users, and you can see on the screen, the most important metrics that allocators have to deal with on a daily basis. For example, we're looking at stock on hand, what's in stores, what our optimal demand is from an average weekly selling standpoint. The system's calculating an ideal weeks of cover, showing you what potential seasonality is coming at a style color level. and then showing you what your store need is and whether or not this is ranged in all stores and what's on order. And at the end of the day, how much you have to allocate right here. And so all of these basic metrics, which are very important on a daily basis to look at, are contained obviously out of the box. In addition to that, if I click on this button here, I can look at my display metrics that are available to bring into the view. Other than what I already have in the view, all I have to do is click on the metric I want and apply, and it'll bring those metrics in for you. So anything from your store grids to your minimum rules, whether or not you've pre-allocated any of these items from a purchase order perspective, whether or not these items are replenishment items, and so on and so forth. In addition to that, one of the neat things that this tool offers is the ability to link styles together in order to do strategic allocation. So we can link the items together that may be similar in nature, so that we can have one holistic allocation strategy, getting rid of older stock first, for example, and then replenishing with the newer stock as maybe like an item code changes or something in the design of an item changes. All of that's already pre-built in here. In addition to that, we can handle pre-packs and singles. And so the allocation engine understands pre-packs and how much to allocate from a pack perspective versus a singles perspective, and what the prioritization is, and the overages and underages strategies that you want in your business from a pack allocation perspective. So all of that is here for you. And then once again, if I just want to get out of my alert and go back to my main screen, I just can click off the alert, and it's going to take me back to the items that I'm managing in total. So as this screen returns back to where we started from, I just want to highlight a couple other things from a feature perspective. So not only are we digging in from a day in the life perspective with our alerts and what to focus on, whether it's new item allocations or it's replenishment items, or we have demand exceeding our stock, or we're piling up on our stock and we're experiencing aged stock. We are also showing you at a high level what's going on in your business. So how much of the demand we can meet with the current stock we have to allocate for each allocator and the area of the business that we're responsible for. We can even do it at a higher level for management or executive teams to provide those insights for them. We also show how much of the stock that we need to support minimums or even weeks of cover strategies or weeks of supply strategies. We can show you how much of that of error rate exists where we may fall short in being able to support those merchandising strategies. And then lastly, just what percent of our business may be in a potential overstock situation. So that's our dashboarding. So we have our alerts, our dashboarding, and then we have our higher level strategy here from a style or style color level. And then when we drill in to any individual style, we get to see the detail behind each one of those styles or style colors. And this is a great screen for me to understand what's going on at the lower level. A lot of our specialty apparel or footwear retailers are really concerned about how we handle sizes and how well we can handle sizes. And we do it very well. We calculate, once again, all of those size curves for you. And then from an output perspective, we can show you what's going on from a size perspective at the DC level, at the store level, how many units that we're projecting to allocate on the next allocation, and how much of that DC stock on hand we're going to allocate. And then as we go down, we get to obviously have insight to what's going on at the stores. And so we can display to you whether or not the store's been ranged for this particular style or style color, how much stock on hand is currently in the store from a real-time perspective, what the average weekly selling rate is by store, which leads back to our optimum conversation and dealing with optimum demand, as well as combined with the store stocking strategies. We calculate an ideal weeks of cover. We show you what the upcoming seasonality is at every store, right? Because seasonality may be different by store. And then at the end of the day, we calculate, our algorithm calculates a need. And that need then turns into a recommended allocation. And then you can see as we go across there by size here, you can see what the allocation is in terms of the units, what our seasonality is for that particular size, and then finally what your ideal weeks of cover is by size. So if you think about the level of granularity here, what you don't see is a lot of keying or doing or inputting. The engines are taking care of all of this for the users so that you can just focus on your strategies and focus on understanding what's going on in the business and having those intelligent conversations with your team members on what to do given the circumstances and how things are performing in the business when you've started a trading period or when you're beginning to start a trading period or close out a trading period for that matter. In addition to that, this screen holds all of the same features as the other main workbench screen, where I can go in and I can pull in different metrics based upon what I want to see down to this level of granularity. And I think that's very important. And I will mention that this solution is highly configurable. We understand and we get that all our retail clients have different needs in terms of how they measure, how they look at the business. So when it comes to putting in additional metrics or calculating something a little bit differently, it's very configurable and flexible solution, and we can handle those needs for you. So I'm just going to close out of this screen really quick, and I'm going to go back to the main screen. In addition to what we're offering here from a solution perspective, you also have the ability to go into our insights, and you can leverage our data analytics to understand things like how your size is performing or your sizes are performing of your style color from a demand perspective versus how you've bought it. We have key metrics up here. We can consume attributes that are important to the business and help you analyze those. So there's various features here that are simple and easy to use and to get to that support allocations. So moving back into the allocation solution, just a couple final key points. I can filter this information that is presented to me from a user perspective. I can do it at a product level. I can do it at a location level, right? And so it's very flexible in terms of me getting to what I want. But in addition to that, I also have the ability to set my own thresholds from a metric perspective. So if I can go into something we call display metrics, and I can go in there and set user-based exceptions myself, in addition to what we're presenting to you from an analytics and a workflow perspective, to find things that I'm concerned about, such as stock thresholds or rates of sale that may be high or low and things like that. So this solution is very, very flexible. And in addition to that, has produced proven results. We have a great track record in the clients that we've gone live with over the last half decade of producing great results. So let me just wrap up and get back into my presentation and talk about what those results look like. We've seen 98% productivity gains with some of the clients that we have implemented with. So this software significantly boosts productivity by automating repetitive tasks and streamlining workflows. Retailers, like I said, have seen those gains, allowing them to focus on strategic activities rather than manual data entry. We've seen 7 to 10% sales increases, predicting demand and optimizing inventory levels in the solution. Our software helps retailers achieve this, and we have seen this through improved stock availability at the store size level, reducing those lost sales opportunities. And then finally, something very significant, which is a 20% improvement in sell-throughs. And sell-throughs are very important, especially for specialty apparel and footwear retailers. When we're buying inventory for a trading period and we know we have a short window of time to maximize what we've invested in. And so these effective allocations that we have and that we provide for our customers ensures that high demand products are always in stock, minimizing overstock and markdowns and maximizing sales. So we want to help you optimize inventory, improve sales, and streamline operations. If you're interested in learning more, please go to our website at www.brandivio.com and schedule a personalized demo or contact us, and we'd be happy to engage with you. And lastly, If you have any questions at all, you can put them in the chat here. I'll leave it open for a few minutes as we close out, and we'd be happy to get back to you on any questions you might have as to what you've seen today. I want to thank you all for spending this short period of time with us today. We're going to continue doing this on a bi-monthly or monthly basis. And as we continue to engage in the North America market, we're going to be excited to show you other things that the solution is capable of. Thanks for coming today. I really appreciate your time.